taking a look at Death in Space from Free League Studios. Now, this book is a self-contained role-playing game. Now, obviously, one of the biggest things you're going to be missing from the start is going to be some dice and maybe some models and some maps, if you feel so inclined. Now, the overall concept of the game is really more or less that everything in space is basically looking to essentially kill you, or push you towards your end. Technology's failing. There are very deadly encounters. It's not meant to be an overall power fantasy. It's meant to be focused on the survival itself. Kind of think like The Walking Dead, but space. Where there is really no I forget what it's called. The essentially that innate protection for certain players just to tell the story or progress the story. Forget what that term is called. But the whole focus itself. So overall, it's about scraping by and not actually saving the galaxy. And I think that works on so many levels for a sci-fi story. When you compare it to existing franchises that I personally love, like Alien, I would include Predator in that because that's part of the same universe. The Star Wars, the Warhammer 40K, Lost in Space. So many things like that already exist and make for some really great stories. And I think that telling the story with a emphasis on just the surviving, then as opposed to the going through and saving the galaxy and winning everything. Now it's designed to with character creation, basically allow you to create a character very quickly, sometimes in mere just minutes, to get you into the game pretty quickly. And essentially you start out competent enough to be able to act, but fragile enough to fear the consequences of those actions. Again, kind of goes back to things like The Walking Dead, where you don't have that plot armor. That's the term I was forgetting. And so it's all about how you survive and what you do to make it there. But I love the structure of the book, the way the art is handled. Reminds me of a lot of other existing franchises like Alien, or the art style is very similar to like the new Bungie video game Marathon, at least in my opinion. And so overall, with the focus being, or emphasis being on the survival, I think that is definitely the way to play. The game is actually pretty easy to learn. Combat is quick. There's a stress system that kind of helps narrate the story along with the story itself. But the overall consistent bleak tone does make for a little more depressive storylines, and so it can get old for some people. And then the biggest downside to this is that it does not translate well to other genres beyond sci-fi. But really, me personally, I'm not going to play a sci-fi game and try to turn it into a fantasy. So for me, that's not a big deal at all. But overall, I think they did a phenomenal job. I think by far one of the best built systems that Free League's come out with, and we had a great time. And again, I love the art style and overall direction of how they structured the book. The team did a fantastic job, and this is well worth picking up, even if it's something that you just have on the shelf to kind of flip through and look at and not necessarily play. it's well worth it for that too, because again, the quality is definitely superb. And you know, you pick this up and get yourself a set of dice and you're ready to go. So overall, like I said, very well worth picking up. We thoroughly enjoyed it. And again, thank you to Free League for sharing this with us. Thank you guys as always for watching. We'll catch you next time.
Now I'm set, painting minis with no regret. Set up fast, tear downs clean. It's the slickest station I've ever seen. Whether painting or hammer, Walking Dead or Apex, create trophies, a kit that clears the specs. No clutter, no stress, just pop and play. Take your squad and save the day, babe. I tried the rest, but this one slays. From dungeon crawlers to sci-fi rays, it's my go-to. My tabletop gem, create trophies, the kit, yes ma'am. So if you're a hobbyist like me, here's the link to paint stress free. Join the fun, let your colors run free. Whether you're painting or hammer, The Walking Dead or Apex, create trophies, the kit that clears the specs. No clutter, no stress, just pop and play. Put your squad and save the day. I've tried the rest, but this one slays. From dungeon crawlers to sci-fi rays, it's my go-to. My tabletop gem, create trophies, the kit, yes ma'am. So if you're a hobbyist like me, here's the link to paint stress free. Join the fun, let your colors run free.